Emerald Elite Redux is a difficulty ROM hack with 8 generations of Pokemon, tons of new moves, and abilities, which is great because every Pokemon gets 4 abilities all at once. And as you can imagine, this leads to some crazy powerful mons, especially Mega Evolutions. And this game adds a ton of brand new Megas, and they didn't hold back on the craziness. So let's get right into some of the new Megas and why they're so busted. They gave Sandslash a Mega in this game, and it's absolutely insane. With an HP stat of 95, an attack of 140, a defense of 110, a special attack of 45, a special defense of 85, and a speed stat of 95, this thing is beyond powerful. Its base form sets up Sand on entry, and when a Mega evolves, it gets Sand Rush and Sand Force, and Tough Claws. So, Mega Sandslash basically has a Choice Scarf, a Choice Band, and 2 Life Orbs in its hands, with none of the drawbacks. Its 4th ability stops status, so don't even try to burn it to slow it down. If this thing sets up one Swords Dance, nothing but a flying type is stopping its high horsepower, and it has plenty of rock moves to deal with them. It also has access to spiky shields, so it can stop Focus Sash users if they try to go for a kill. So if they try to hit you and they hit that spiky shield, now their Focus Sash is going to hold, and they're going to get smacked. He gets access to a ton of coverage moves with Brick Break, Aerial Ace, Rock Slide, Shadow Claw, X-Scissor, Poison Jab. Gets Knockoff for a little support. They basically made Sandslash an unstoppable force with really no checks to him. Now, for a Mega Evolution with a little bit of defensive utility, we have Mega Dugong. With an HP stat of 90 and both defense stats at 105, this thing is pretty tanky in its own right. But when you give it its special ability, Arctic Fur, which weakens physical and special moves by 35%, it's even bulkier. It has a special attack stat of 125, so it's going to hit very hard as well. But that's not all, it gets access to 3 other great abilities. Cold Rebound, which if you get hit with a contact move, launches an Icy Wind attack, which slows their speed down by 1 stage. It also gets the Water Veil ability. It can't be burned, and Aqua Ring is set up on entry. It also gets access to Hydrate, where normal moves become water and get a 10% boost. It's going to be living a long time, so it has Scald, so you can use that to burn your opponents, or if you want to go for the stall, you can Toxic Stall them and kill them that way. It also gets access to powerful moves like Mega Horn and Horn Drill, which is a normal type move with 120 base power, but since it has the Hydrate ability, that becomes a water type move with a base stat of 132. Also gets some HP recovery with the move Slack Off. At the end of the day, it's going to be very hard to get through a Mega Dugong, and even if you do, you're going to have minus speed, you may even be burned, or you may be badly poisoned. Mega Haxorus is another insanely powerful attacking Mega. With a base stat of 180 in its attack, this thing is going to be ripping off huge amounts of damage, but its abilities make it even more ferocious. The base form already has Intimidate, which lowers the foe's attack by 1 on entry, but when it Mega evolves, it gets the new ability Fearmonger, which is Intimidate plus Scare. Now Scare lowers special attack, but it gets Intimidate again, so the foe goes to -2 on attack just from the first turn. Its other ability, Hypercutter, prevents its own attack from being reduced and ups the critical hit by 1. Its other ability, Sweeping Edge, makes sure Keen Edge moves always hit, and now they hit both targets. And its last ability, Merciless, critical hits any poisoned, speed reduced, or paralyzed foe. It gets access to insane moves like Guillotine, which is now a bug type move that's 80% accurate and does 120 damage, and it has the Sweeping Edge boost, so it will always hit. This is the same for Excalibur, which is a new steel type move with 120 base power and 80% accurate, but this one is Stab because he becomes a dragon steel type upon Mega Evolution. Both of these moves have a high crit ratio. With its ability is a +2 on the crit rate, and a crit will absolutely destroy any Pokemon that gets hit with it. I would recommend Dragon Dancing on your Mega turn, especially against a physical attacker, because they're going to be -2, and there's no way they're going to be able to one-hit KO you. You can even run moves like Dual Chop if you're worried about Focus Sash. It gets tons of incredible coverage moves like Psycho Cut, Stomping Tantrum, Crunch, Superpower, Strength. Mega Haxorus is one of the most dangerous Megas you can use. Mega Lapras X turns the cute Lapras we all know into a killing machine. With a base stat of 135 in attack and 130 in HP, this thing is going to live long and do lots of damage. It also gets 4 great abilities that pair very well with it. Now, I've done an entire video on why this is one of the best megas in the entire game if you want to check that out, but I'll go over it briefly here. It gets access to Primal Maul, where biting moves hit twice and the second hit does 0.5 times the damage. It gets Swift Swim, so it gets the 1.5 times speed boost in rain, Shell Armor to block critical hits and take 20% less damage, and Jaws of Carnage, where it eats half the foe when defeating it, giving it a huge amount of HP. The main biting move it gets now is the new move Death Roll, which is a 100 base power water move that has a 20% chance to confuse, is boosted by Strong Jaw, and ignores their stat changes. If you set up the rain on turn 1, you're going to be faster than most Pokemon, your defenses will allow you to survive most hits, and your Jaws of Carnage ability will allow you to gain half your health back, which, with the power of Stab Death Roll, should be a piece of cake. Slowking really is the king of slow. This is the best Trick Room Pokemon of all time. Its base form sets up Trick Room automatically with its ability Twisted Dimension, and your Mega drops your speed stat to 20. You will be the fastest Pokemon ever, and you can also hit super hard. With a base stat special attack of 130 and a special defense stat of 180, he is not going to lose to any special attacker. If you send him out against a special attacker, you can set up nasty plots right in their face and do massive damage. Now, Trick Room works much better in double battles, but he's still a major threat since he can set it up without using a turn. Mega Slowking also sets up Psychic Surge upon entry, giving its Psychic type moves even more of a boost. With great status moves like Curse or Calm Mind and Toxic, this Pokemon is going to do tons of damage before it goes out. So, those were 5 of the best new Mega Pokemon introduced in Emerald Elite Redux. There are plenty of more insane Megas, including old ones which have been renewed with 3 additional abilities and new moves. Let me know if you'd want to hear about them in a future video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.